Alrighty. Oh yes, I need to find. Let's go to YouTube here, and I want to find something. Oh, I'm finna go to, speaking of Dear Mama, White Brown, Hotel Grill Nation. This is your man, Amon Rashidi, a.k.a. Papa Ra, and welcome to Brother to Brother. Doing a little working around here at the same time. I'm going to turn this down, though. Y'all hold on a minute. All right. Okay, yeah, but, so YouTube, is this we're live right now? Well, I guess we are then. So yeah. So I'm multitasking. Hey YouTube, we're live with you, but we're not live on radio yet. But we're about to. And in the meantime, I'm about to find something here I want y'all to check out. Let's see. Next time I have my background music kind of rocking you all. Okay, what would it be? Right here. YouTube. Normally about this time you all we would be doing Periscope, but PG is in LA right now. Beautiful things with his family. We all should be spending some time with family. It's Mother's Day. At least Mother's Day is coming up. We should be celebrating our mothers at all times, not just on Mother's Day. As you all can well hear, it's a commercial on right now. It's like that nowadays. Commercials on everything.
Credit card offers out there.
Hold on.
It's hard to be sure which one is right for you.
Yep.
But when all the information is clear, making the best choice is easy. At Nerve.
No. Not what I was looking for. Okay, you all. I'm still working on it. It's taking me a minute or two. That wasn't one of my favorite Commodore songs, but I could appreciate the sentiment and the meaning. Okay. That was The Night Shift. Okay. Also, my son had a fight. He's a professional boxer. Amon Rashidi. He fought on, I guess it was this past weekend. I didn't get a chance to go, but I understand he won again. I think he's about 4-0 right about now as a professional boxer. Been trying to get him in here. We'll get him in here real soon. I have a song that I wrote a long time ago for my mother called Sweet Joyce Marie. I thought it may be really appropriate right now. Let's see if I can find it on YouTube. Bam. Let's see. I believe we found it. Let's see. There it is. Brother Khalil, everybody out there?
Our first love journey comes through our mother.
Say it again now. What's up, PJ? All right, we got callers on and everything. Yeah, you should be periscoping, brother, from where you are then, since we couldn't do it here.
Yeah, we're about to get into the gym.
Oh, that's right. That is right. That's right, man.
Yeah, we're a few hours behind you guys. So, so it's 12 o'clock on the East Coast, but in Southern California, it's 9 a.m.
Oh, that is right. I forgot about that. So you've been stirring pretty early. You know, for those of you all who just tuned in, PG went to LA. Got a chance to meet with his family. This is the first time he's saying in like 15 years all you guys have been in one room.
Yeah, definitely. And then I also got to meet family members that I have never met before. My mother's probably on the line right now. However, we will not be hearing from my mother today unless the spirit of the Lord is her.
That's all right.
Probably until Jesus himself coming down. Yes, the Elder Queen is on the
Right.
It's ironic that we would have a Mother's Day show, and we hadn't really discussed it until recently exactly what we were going to go into.
Right.
So, there's nothing more befitting, but my mother's birthday was actually May the 2nd, and we always get double whammy.
Okay.
With the mother, with her birthday and the Mother's Day being so close together. So on her birthday, I looked on Facebook, and when I went on Facebook, first thing that I saw was something that I had dedicated to her 3 years ago, and it was Tupac's song,
Dear Mama.
And this was on May 2nd, and on May 3rd, when I woke up, and Tupac had lost his mother. His mom, had joined
Yeah.
the ranks of the ancestors. So, man, we're just really, for those of us who do, we're very fortunate to have our mothers, and I'm gonna say that, and I'm thankful and I'm grateful. She had her 65th birthday, and my brother and aunt surprised her, and I'm here. It's
Right.
ironic that my mother and father, they live in two different states. My biological mother and father, they live in two different states, and they are born 3 days apart. So, we had to decide, who was going to be where. And since I hadn't seen my father and the rest of my family so long, I came here, and my brother planned a birthday party for my mother, and this was one of the, well, not even one of the, but it was her most memorable birthday, and I was, very glad to see that she was pleased and everything went well. So, saying that, and giving honor to my mother, I'm gonna turn the floor over to you, Brother Rashidi, because you dropped a few things on me this morning, so I know we're getting ready to have some wisdom, some knowledge, some history, and all of it, and some love to spend here today on this show.
Well, hey, man. First of all, to your mother who's listening, who may be on the air, I want to tell her how much we love and appreciate her. Even though we may not know her in the flesh, we know her in the spirit because we see a representation of her through you. And I want to say thank you if you are on the air, and we appreciate you, sister. I'm from the Deep South, where we had a great appreciation, and we still do, for our mothers. And our first love journey comes through our mothers, and I think sometimes we forget that. It's that mother that can many times just turn back the hands of time. No matter how mature you are, when you get in front of your mother, you become a child again, because you're in the presence of the closest thing to God that you're gonna get on earth. When I say our first love journey, I mean this by saying that the one thing about mothers is that she has a partnership with God to procreate mankind. I'm gonna say that one more time. Women have a partnership with God to procreate mankind. She sees and hears and thinks for two people because God has created her with an innate ability to have another person. And those extensions are all around us every day. There's no man that came through the planet except he came through a woman first. That includes Jesus, who came through the womb of Mary. So that says to you how powerful a woman really is. The whole concept that we got of the woman, or the first kind of man that we call mankind, came from WOMB, which we call womb man. That's where you get the concept of woman from. The concept of even creating a house and having coverage and protection for us in a society, or as a civilization as we know it, came from the concept of man's idea being covered inside the womb of a woman. So when we think back, we got to look at a woman from a whole different perspective. So when you say mothers, you're looking at the creators of mankind and womankind as we know it. So for this Mother's Day, I just want to say to all mothers that we love you and we appreciate you, and we see you beyond your extension of cooking and cleaning and loving and nurturing. You do so many things. And I just want to say how much we do love you and appreciate you. Everybody's got a mother. I don't care how mean or how hateful someone may be or how much you dislike somebody. Everybody has a mother. And one thing I always want to remind young brothers when I'm talking to them is, remember, the same way you love your mother, when you call this other woman over here a bitch or a whore, remember that's somebody's mother's too. So when you recognize the fact that that's somebody else's mother, maybe you will call, but maybe you will kind of hold back on some of your sentiments, because many times we forget that. And the same thing you got to remember also, as much as we love our mothers, you got to think the same thing about your wife, who is a mother too, or your lady friend. That's why I don't like the words like baby mama drama, because I think that puts a negative tone on motherhood. And I don't think no mother deserves that, because we don't know the circumstances by which women have attitudes. And an attitude is a memory of experience. It's not no swag. It's just a memory of how she's had to handle things over the years. One other thing I want to address before we open up the lines is Big Mama. Even the word Big Mama, we used to call her Big Mama because we say she had a big job. And to all you mothers who continue to have a big job, we want to say how much we love you and how much we appreciate you, and thank you for what you do. Big ups to Kevin Durant. I saw the piece that he did on his mother. I guess it was even last year, and how he broke down and started to cry. Here's a young man who's making millions of dollars and worked his way all the way up to the NBA and is a superstar right now. When he started thinking about winning an award, the first thing he could think about was his mother. He started talking about the times when he played, but she made sure that he ate even though she didn't eat. And many times they didn't know that she was going hungry, so just to make sure that they could eat. Times that she was in pain and she was tired and didn't want to go to work, but she went anyway. So, those are things, man. Mothers love you like God loves us, man. No matter what some of us have done, and some guys end up going to prison. Who puts money on your books? Who there for you all the time? When that dime piece and you ignore your mama and you chasing that dime piece, and the next thing you know, you done got caught up and you done got locked up. Who getting you out? Who put your house up, so you can get out on bail? I'm just going at all angles. I don't care how big or how small, man. We just got to say we love, and we have love for our moms. Even when I think of the word mom, it's like synonymous with love. And when I wrote the song Sweet George Marie, I wanted to do something myself from the Speak Project that talked about love, the love that we have for our mothers. And, before I go any further, I want to tell, all the moms that are out there, if you're listening, y'all get a chance to call in. Khalil, we'll hit you back with what that number is. And one other thing I want to add too, Tupac just lost his mother, and Emoja Ba to the spirit of Sister Shakur, gone but not forgotten. Definitely a warrior, in our lives and in our eyes. And now her son is gone, and she is gone as well. So now they've made that transition. And with that, I want to let you know that the lines are open. I was intending on having my mother on today, and but I called her and she's not doing well, and so definitely I got to respect that. So I was running a little late because I wanted to make sure my mama was okay. So no matter, I can say how old you may be, you're still a kid when you're in the presence of your mother. So with that, Brother Khalil, you out there? Did I talk us all the way? Okay, maybe I did. I'll make sure we're told everybody's connected here.
Okay, I want to thank all of the callers on the line. If you choose to comment, or if you have a question, press star 6. That will put you into our caller queue. After you are in our caller queue, then you will hear prompts, and then you can wait to be recognized, and you can ask your question or you can make your comment.
But one of the things, PG, before someone says anything, I want to make sure those who are listening, I definitely want to get some commentary from each brother that's on the line about their mother, if they would. It's just up to you. Everybody has their own personal experiences with their moms. And I say this too, that we are aware in the society that we live in now that we have a lot of situations that we're faced with. And we know that 7% of the time in African American communities, many times the fathers are missing. But 45% of grandmothers now are taking care of the grandchild, which suggests that we have some mothers missing as well. And we have a lot of young mothers. And we have a lot of mothers who had us when they were young. And some of them must have bad experiences with our mothers. And we do understand that as well. And we have to respect that. But we will respect the fact that you came through that love journey of life through your mother. So definitely, I would like to hear from those who would some commentary on their mothers. I just want to throw that out there, PG.
Man, I'll start, with my mother, and I'm gonna try to get through this. But my mother had me when she was 17. Well, I'm gonna have to come back.
Okay.
Come back, man. I can't hear you.
Well, that's all right, bro. That's one thing about us when it comes to our mothers too. We can be people talk about the issue of not issue. They talk about men not being emotional. We're all emotional creatures. Discipline, which is self-imposed order, which allows us sometimes to be able to control those. But spirit is so strong. Sometimes it can interrupt your ability to what you call control, because at the end of the day, we never have complete control, particularly if you believe in a higher source. And you've never seen anyone who probably believes more in higher sources than our mothers. Our mothers, man, normally even when we first learn about God, we normally get that from our mothers, because our mothers are normally the closest thing to God that we know. And we see it by the sacrifices that they make. Now, PG was saying that my mother was 17 as well. And a lot of times we think that it's just this generation of children who had children early, but it's not. And our mothers many times had to go deal with a lot of blatant racism and a lot of blatant ignorance and sexism from within our own community as well. And had to overcome so many different things. And that's why, you got to love them so much, because in spite of those things, they still, they raise families and do so many different things, man. How a woman does it, man, it is amazing to me. Have 3, 4, 5 kids, and sometimes father may have passed away, or father may not just be in the family, but continue to go forward, and without an education, make sure each one of those children get to college and get their education. Never really have a dime and be able to manage money, but manage every dime that she has. Man, that's just smothered with. What we call Madnechet in Africa is defined as Mother Nature, and that's where you get the word mother from. That whole concept of mother, that's when you say Mother Earth, that's why you say Mother Earth, because it gives life. The water, the vegetation that we have here on this earth, everything. That's why this concept of giving life is called, a part of being mother. We fertilize that egg, but it's the mother that carries it. And everybody has a story about their mother. And I remember one in particular with my mom, and my mother was young. So, a lot of guys used to like my mom, but she came to the school, man. I used to get really mad about that. But my mom was just, unlike anybody I'd ever seen. She gave me so much time and attention. And I was considered to be dyslexic. I guess they didn't call it back in the day. But because my mother didn't want me to get in the classroom and be slow and, be picked on, my mother spent time teaching me how to write and teaching me how to read what I wrote. And I didn't realize that we were playing these games with these cards, that's what she was really doing for me. And she wanted to spare me that embarrassment, that kid who picked up the book and didn't read, because she wanted my confidence to stay strong. And I didn't know that till later. So when I got in the classroom, I was already writing in cursive. And in order for a child to be able to write in cursive, to be able to write and just be able to read words by the time you get to the first grade, that means you spend time with your mother. And that means your mother had to take the time to do that. Now, she was a young girl. Now, what young girls now, and I'm not just knocking, because I'm sure there are many that spend that kind of time with their child. And to all those mothers who do that and more, who come home, who cook, who clean, who try to discipline these boys that sometimes are out of control. And sometimes you boys, you take too much advantage of your mom. You kill for her, you die for her, but you treat her like she's some woman that's out there on the streets, man. You got to pull in on that, homeboy. We can do better. But with that, I know that EJ may have called in, Unseen may have called in. I know they all are real close to their mothers. They all have beautiful relationships with their mothers. So anytime they want to chime in, I welcome them to do so. It is your man, Amon Rashidi, a.k.a. Papa Rod. We're on the Brother to Brother platform. And as our discussion there today, we're talking about motherhood. and our experiences with our mothers. So we're hoping that you all can call in and just tell us stories about you and your mother, some of the things that you did with your mother, or some of the circumstances surrounding your mothers. Now, some of you, one of the guys that I talked to yesterday, I was talking about doing a show on motherhood, and he told me that he was raised by his father, that his father was his mother, that he had cousins and aunts who helped out, but his father played both roles. And to those fathers who had to play the role, I do respect that. And I want to say thank you to those brothers who had to play the mother and the father. But we know mothers, you've had to do it by default all the time. So with that, PG, I know you're still there. We got anybody else?
Yeah, we do have a caller in queue from area code 562781. So, caller, please go ahead with your question or comment.
Good morning, dear brothers.
Good morning.
Divine greetings and great rising to you all.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So this is Afrika Howard. I am PG's little sister.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I ended up talking.
And,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
huh?
No, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
First off, I want to thank you all for the show and for your energy and for recognizing and giving the time and space to honor the divine mother Earth. I'm a mother. I'm a mother of one son, and I just wanted to just what you all said, what my brother has said about his mother, what you, Brother Amon Rashidi, said about your mother, all of those wonderful things is just warm into my heart, and it means so much more to me because I am a mother, and it's a unique experience. It's kind of like we're able to divinely connect on the higher levels and the depths of the obstacles of what it takes to raise children. And even in the more racist days, these are as well, but more in the Deep South, my uncle was telling me a story about the Emmett Till story, and he was a little boy when all of it happened, and how his mother, my big mama, was trying so hard to protect her boys at the time of that incident. And as a little child, the dangers aren't really, it's not clear to you because you're a child of the universe.
Right.
But as a mother, your entire intent is to protect your young.
Right.
At any cost. So I'm experiencing that level of caution for my son, and at the same time, allowing him the ability to grow in his own capacity, in his own divine right, and purpose, because we're dealing with crippled children.
If you don't mind me asking, how old is your son?
He's 7 years old.
Okay.
And his name is Asar.
Okay. All right. I love it. I love it. You know what, sister? You know what you're doing by, naming your child that is you giving birth to the recreation of our heritage again. And I want to say thank you for that, because I don't think we understand the power of words. When you say in the beginning was the Word and the Word was with Ptah, the beginning was the Word and the Word was with God, depending upon where you come from and what it is that you believe, we all say that the universe was uttered. Whether it was a big bang, it still was a sound. So when you start to evoke these words, sister, that's powerful. To, put that representation on a young brother. Thank you for that. I want to say that as a griot.
Ashe. And so again, I just wanted to thank you all for having your show and putting the energy and the vibrations in the proper place and perspective for us as a collective, so we can come together in unity and grow in that unity together and establish more stable social and personal and economic and financial ties with each that. And I'm just so thankful for my brother. Yes, he is here in LA. He's here in LA. I'm here right now on Wilshire and Vermont taking care of some business.
Okay.
But yeah, Pearlie, as soon as I got your text message, I called right on in.
Yeah, you were the first one.
Yeah, thank you for keeping me connected.
Well, you know what, sister? I want to say this and to both you and PG. PG is my little brother, and now that makes you my little sister. And when we talk about brotherhood, and we mean that, because that's an extension, that's the branch to the tree. And just to see you all happy together as a family is a part of one of the things that we want as priorities as a part of the Griot Nation. In order for us to love and be loved and be respected, we got to recapture the essence of our family. And I want to thank y'all as a family, for what you guys are doing.
Ashe. And I really want to also give real quick thanks to my mother, because I have one son, like I said, she had 5 children back to back to back to back to back, and we're all still alive. Yep. My young brother is 37, I'm 38, my brother's 39, my other sister is 40, my other sister is 41, and we have also PG and our brother Vincent. So there's a lot of good family business happening and going on.
Well, that's great, and I'm glad to hear that. So hey, I wanted to, before you got ready to go, I wanted you to chime in on what are some of the things that you want as a mother that you want to see for your son as he grows up, just as a young mother, as a 7-year-old son.
Well, I'm a young mother, and I've seen a lot of things. I've only been in Los Angeles for about a year, but I would like for us to be able to stabilize our communities financially, so that we can have our own special personalized schools for our children based off of spirituality and concepts of Ma'at. I like to develop core regimens for them to have martial arts incorporated in their recreation time, as opposed to this recess free play, non-constructive concept that they have going on.
Okay.
I like to have hands-on gardens with the children and with our elders, their grandparents, and see more close-knit unity. Now that our grandparents are younger these days,
Right.
They are stepping in more often and doing more of the parental duties. However, we can, still, establish a relationship, intentional relationship with grandchildren and grandparents, and that's protect our elders also.
Okay. Well, Susan, I certainly.
Definitely protect their education and allow them to grow spiritually in whatever capacity it was written in the stars on the day of their birth. They all have their individual talents and purposes. So create space for that to flourish.
Well, I tell you what, Susan, I first of all, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate your call, and from here on out, I want you to keep listening in. And you're part of the family now. Well, you always been a part of the family now. I just happen to know who you are. So you be careful, Susie. Have a good day.
Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, I didn't hear that clearly. Can you say that one more time?
No, I was just thanking you for chiming in, and I wanted you to, stay in touch with us and continue to check out the show and be a part of it.
Oh, sure, most definitely. As long as I continue to, go on this path alongside you all. Again, I'm so thankful for my brother for sending me the link. So keep sending me the links, okay?
Wow.
Definitely. Okay. When you get off the line, please do me a favor and mute your background, and so everybody else can see it. Thank you for your call. I love you.
Hey, I like you too. Okay, I'll talk to you. I'll speak with you soon. So, gentlemen, I'm going to take care of my business, so I'm going to go ahead and get off the line.
Okay.
And I'll talk to you in the future.
Okay. Pleasure meeting you, sister.
Okay. Okay, peace and blessings.
I want you all think back for a minute, we would start talking about mothers, and no matter how conscious we are, most of us at some point in time was at a church. And I was raised in the church. A lot of the values that I have today is a foundation of the church. My respect, my ability to articulate, my ability to recite speeches and poems came from what I did through scripture and writing. So the church was a powerful resource in my community. And what I saw there is, I saw an example of a small microcosm of a community from the small South, the small churches. And for those of you who don't know, 75% of most churches are women who do everything it is, because they're so used to managing homes. And the church is like a house, and we call it a church house, where you got that concept from. And that's how she manages it. And so that means it goes to show that the woman or the mother has been in the management capacity for so long, man, and in so many different capacities. We need more than just one day to be able to, articulate to the things that has happened or the things that our mothers have done. But here's the key. We got to have solutions. As our mothers get older, we want to be able to protect them and make sure that they're taken care of, that they won't for nothing. Not just have to depend upon some level of retirement. We don't want our mothers to have to make a decision on whether they're going to have to pay for their pharmaceutical drugs, or whether they're going to pay their rent or pay their mortgage or pay whatever bill that they have. And believe me, we have a lot of mothers that are out there going through that right now. But what I wanted us to recognize is this. It's similar to the things that we did in the church. We had to come together a lot of times, and that's how we raise our families. A lot of times it was my cousin, Mary Lee Caldwell, or my auntie, Hazel, who wasn't really my mother, but treated me like I was their son. And a lot of times in our communities, a lot of different women were called mothers, even though they weren't our mother, because motherhood was a responsibility that everybody took on. Now, motherhood now has become individualized. That's your child. That's not my problem. That's your problem. Since when did we start making children problems? Children were the prize. They were the reason for the season. They were the thing that kept us excited. And so that's why I think we have to go back and look at the source. So when we go back to motherhood, that means that we're going back to the source. We're starting to recognize the true prize, because the child is nothing but an extension of the mother. So when you start talking about every 4 minutes a woman is abused, that's somebody's mother. When you start talking about women making 70 cents on to the dollar to what men make, or 50 cents on the dollar, that's somebody's mother. So, there's a lot of things that we have to do not to be hypocritical. We recognizing and loving the concept and the idea of motherhood, but yet and still, just waiting for this one day to do it. I'm saying these are things that we should be doing on a day-to-day basis. And for all people, I want to say, happy Mother's Day. And I know y'all say, well, it's the so-and-so man's day, but I don't have a problem with any day, no matter who came up with it, if it's a day I can recognize my mother. Now, I know we're talking about also remembering that, some we're still exercising selective spending. Some people call it a boycott. I'm saying we're exercising selective spending. So we're hoping that you in the African American community are looking for people who look like you to do business with them, not to spite someone else, but to develop your own home. So it's hard to expect someone else to do something for you that we're not doing at home. So as a part of selective spending, we want to make sure we're aware of the fact that we're choosing to spend money. We're going to spend money everywhere, but don't forget to do it at home. And with that, hey, y'all, the lines are open. We're talking about motherhood. We're talking about Mother's Day. Some of your experiences that you've had as a man or a woman with your mother, whether they be good, bad, or indifferent. So, PG, wait a minute, hold on.
Hey, I'm here, man.
Okay.
I'm here. I may be able to get through it, man. I'm going to have to talk about something else. I was going to talk about, my mother, just being one of the strongest women that I know. She raised 3 boys alone. Like I said, she was 17 when she had me. And, in my family, you just pride yourself on being strong. That's on both sides of my family.
Right.
As far as just, that's just our mentality. And never fail. But, I can, in front of my mother, it was easy for me just be brought to tears, even in a conversation, man, because,
Yeah.
you know, that woman, she put so much of me, you put so much of herself into me. And, you know, when I grew up, I began to study and evolve. And, you know, my mother's, you know, diehard Christian. And I'm no longer attached in the same manner. You know, I am, but, you know, I just kind of, I have a different perspective and understanding of the creator and creation. So, you know, sometimes there's contention, but when I look at the man that I am, and when I, you know, understand the God the Father and God the Mother concept, you know, and, you know, who I am is a direct result of the two people who procreated me.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just, the things that, ironically, the things that people love about me, those are the attributes of my mother. And a lot of the things that people hate about me are, you know, from my father. But I love my mother and my father.
Right.
And I wouldn't change who I am for the world, you know. But one story I'll tell you, you know, just about single mothers, you know, and if there are single mothers on the line, and I never knew this. I never knew my mother felt this way until a few years ago. We were having a conversation, and I thought it was actually funny. And I was asking her, did she remember when she whooped me with the broomstick at church, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was about 15, and you know, I'm feeling myself, and I forget all of what was going on, but I was gonna basically, you know, buck up and not do what my mother was saying. I'm in the choir, you know, and my mother's a musician. That's, you know, where I got my talent from, my vocal ability, my writing ability, my arranging ability, my ability to coach vocalists. I got all this stuff from my mother because I watched her do it for so many years, and it's in my blood. So, you know, I'm in the choir, and she told me to do something, and, you know, I kind of, you know, snap back. So Mama pulled me out of the choir stand. She took me into the next room, and, you know, we didn't have a bill or whatever. So, you know, Mama got the broomstick, and I'm in here looking at the broomstick, you know, and I'm like, well, I know that this is not supposed to go down, but she said, turn around. And when my mama started getting to the broomstick, I guess it was so, to people, it was so out of order that even one of the deacons in the church wanted to come in and step in and stop it. This is a deacon, you know, hardcore man from the country.
Right.
But, you know, so I did that. She did that. I suffered that humiliation. And when I brought it to my mother's attention, you know, she was like, yeah, and I wish I had never done that. And I told her, I said, Mama, that was the best thing that you could have ever done to me. You know, that was the best thing that you ever done as a mother that was raising 3 young men, you know, because at that age, you know, as boys, we begin to see, you know, I'm probably a little bit stronger than Mama, I'm a little bit faster than Mama, both
Right.
a little bit taller than Mama, and we begin to start feeling our manhood.
Mm-hmm.
So she put me back in my place as a child, and she put me back up under her roof, you know?
Right.
And so, like right now, today, even today, in terms of respect factor, my mama probably can count on her own hand the amount of times that she has ever heard me say a curse word. And I'm like, you know, I have a pretty foul mouth, you know, when I'm around my people. But that respect for my mother is so high, you know, and a lot of it just comes from talking about that we have in our family and that rule, that mother rule. You know,
Right.
all of my mother, my great grandmother, my grandmama Doris, who was like the original mother on TV, in the movie. That's my grandmama Doris for real. You know.
Well, you know what,
You know,
PG?
my mother is a woman, but she's strong as well.
What I was gonna say about that in reference to what your mother did when she did that the deacon thought was like, what is she doing? She was interrupting your pattern of thinking. She thought what you did was so egregious that she had to engage it with the same level of egregiousness. So, you know, maybe someone hadn't taught her that in school, but instinctively that motherhood, that real love knows how to apply additional pressure. And, you know, that's the thing that we have to love them for. And an example to that, I was talking about, you know, even with that church thing, so many things happen at that church. So whether we believe exactly in the manner or interpret it in the manner that our mothers thought, she had us in the right place, PG. Because that's where you learn to sing. That's where you learn to engage people. That's where you learn your code of conduct. And that's what we got to understand, more than just you appreciating or understanding the doctrine totally, but the other principles that come from it too. And if your mother's on, just, you know, I want to say thank her for that, because I thank my mom for finding a place like a church. She could have found somewhere else to put me in, and I could have been messed up. And your mother could have done the same thing too. But she put you in where she felt like was the best place. And you know what, man? Say what you want to say about her love and her belief for Christianity, and I love, Lord knows, because we know that's a part of who we are. But her example of that, man, is what helped make you a man. You know what I'm saying? Those were her principles. She used that code. So we know it's got to be something to it. You know, even if we don't interpret it the same way, we still got to make sure we love and we respect the fact that she loves that and she respects that. So that's called Mayat in Africa. Balance.
Oh, that's real, bro.
Yeah, man. And you know what? I want to say this also too, man. The church ground was the development ground for children, for many children in the Old South, man. You know, sometimes your mother had to speak to you with a look. Like you just said, you know, when mama get mad at you and everybody else can't control you, mama just turn around and she catch that eye contact and she can say words to you with her eyes, and God, you just get you get quiet and wonder if you'll get a whooping when you get home.
Yes. Hey, I want to thank all of the callers on the line. If you want to make a comment or have a question, press star 6. That will put you into the caller queue. After you are in the caller queue, you can prompt, and then you can wait to be recognized, and then you can ask your question or you can make your comment.
Hey, PG. Hey, man. One of the things I want to tell you all is too is here's one of mine. And for those of you who might be from Arkansas and remember, they used to call me Rob back when I played ball, you know, at school and all. But I was 15 years old and I was told, you know, my mother worked 11 to 7 shift as a nurse. But many times, you know, I would take the liberty to be out late and do things when I thought mama was at work. And she had told me one day not to go, you know, anywhere because I was on some level of punishment. But I went anyway because I thought that she was going to be at work. And she happened to come in and didn't find me and went looking for me. And she came to the movie theater looking for me. And I was 15. Now, all you boys know, you feeling yourself at 15. You know, so if you 15, you're trying to have sex, man. So you know you think you're a little young man. You're a little athlete at the time. So here I'm at the movie with all my peers, younger and older. Now just think about this, the psychology of the pecking order. What's up, my nigga? I mean, I'm in my glory in the socialization stage. My homeboy walks outside, and we was at the movie theater. He walks into the lobby, and he come back into the movie theater. He said, say, man, look like I seen your mama out there in the lobby. I said, no, you ain't seen my mama. My mama at work. And, you know, I keep on watching the movie. You know, I'm just sitting there watching the movie. And then something just, you know, I started to think, nah, couldn't be. She couldn't. I'm just sitting there. And then here come another friend of mine come through. He's like, man, I could have sworn I saw your mama outside. So I'm thinking, Lord, I know I ain't supposed to hear. Then it hits me. Maybe she came home early. So I walk outside into the lobby before the movie. You know, they let everybody comes out and the movie's over. Remember, this is only one movie theater and only one movie at the time. It wasn't 24 movies. So I walk out in the lobby just hoping I didn't see her. And I walked out and I didn't see her first. And I went to walk to the door. And as soon as I did, she came away. She was coming outside the restroom with a belt in her hand. I'm 15 years old, dating, sexually active. And at the same time, she just stood there and stared at me. She didn't move and I didn't move. We stood there long enough for about 5 minutes to pass. And I was trying to say something to her. She just kept standing there. And everybody in the movie started coming out because the movie was over. My mother waited till everybody started coming out the movie theater and it got crowded and went to whooping my ass right there in the movie theater. And I'm going to say something about that. That was the most humiliating thing that I could ever remember. I thought that that's something no one in history could ever get over. And guess what? I lived in a small town and there were surrounding towns nearby. The following year when I went to run track, we sitting up there putting on my cleats. And one of the guys said, man, I remember I was in Magnolia one time. I remember this dude, mama, this nigga got an ass whooping in a movie theater. They were talking about me. I was the talk of that whole county, man, for about a year and a half. So that's one of my stories about how gangster my mama can be.
Yes, indeed. Yo.
Yeah, go ahead.
The brother with the line, Rashidi. Yeah, mama, we do have a call on the line. Area code 716-248. Please go ahead with your question or comment, caller.
Hello.
Hello there.
Peace and love.
Peace.
How y'all doing?
We're doing great, sister. How are you?
Oh, I'm good now.
If you could speak up a little so we can hear you in the YouTube world.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute now. Let me put the bass in it. Yes. I thank y'all for putting this back down. I thank y'all. I was sitting here and I've been listening to y'all for quite a while now. And I've listened to a couple other callers and this and the third. But I was searching through my book and I was like, I would like to bless them with a poem. But, I was thinking about stories and I was listening to the brother talk about his story about his mother, with church and things, and that was that PG?
Yes.
Was that PG? Okay.
That was?
And then I just listened to the story that brother of mine mentioned about the movie theater, right? I wanted to say something about my mother, and when PG was talking about his mother, I was sitting in my vehicle and it brought me to tears because I thought of a story about my mother that I wanted to share. And the story was about her strength, and about how strong she is. I just recently lost my father, November 13, 2015.
What was your Bob?
And shortly after that, maybe in like a 3-week span, she just lost her brother, December of 2015. Back to back, And my mother is a very strong woman. And I've always seen my mother go to school throughout my life. And that's what made me, real inquisitive about knowledge and want to just know everything and learn. And, that's why I promote creativity and promote literacy till this day. But I searched my book and I found this poem. And it is so appropriate because of my story. I'm going to just give you a little bit of it, and it's called Motherly Love 2.
Okay.
I wrote one titled Motherly Love. And that was paying homage to my mother for being the mother she is. But me being a mother too. I wrote Motherly Love Part 2 from a perspective of being a mother. And how appropriate this is. And I used the hook from Slick Rick's Hey Young World.
Okay.
Because, these young people need to know that what they think they know is not really working,
Right.
But and that song Hey Young World is so relevant to this day. But let me just share this piece with you. It's real short. Did not tell you, child, to stay in this house. Did not tell you, child, to stay in this house. It's a jungle out there. Watch your back at all times. Predators lurk everywhere waiting to commit their next crime. On my knees at night, I pray that you will listen to what I ask. Because when it all boils down, it's my job. I'm really just protecting you. Hey, young world. Defying me by sneaking out, having no regard for what I'm leaning towards is a waste of my breath. Thinking I know what's best for me. Only his mother knows best.
Mm.
It's like I'm talking to a tree stump. Or is it that you feel about your tree? So if I say come in this house, you better listen to me.
Mm.
Hey, young world. When that street lamp comes on, you better be beating both them feet. Night 1 and night 2. Let's be gripping that concrete.
Mm.
Goes in one ear and then straight throughout the other. Boy, you to this world. Please mind your mother. We do this out of love, not to be mean or out of anger. Because you are never too old. And I repeat, because you are never too old for those words straight to danger.
Mm.
So if I tell you, child, to stay in this house, if I tell you, child, to stay in this house, then you best be minding me. If you don't want to hear my mouth, get 'em.
Thank you, sister. That was powerful. That was powerful. You know,
Indeed.
you know what it does. You know, when you start to think back, you know, even the whoopings we got and what our mothers did that we thought was extreme, it just spoke to the volumes of love that she had. She was really just trying to protect us. Even when you went back to enslavement,
Yes.
no matter how many times you wanted to attack this overseer, she held you back till she thought it was the right time because she knew she wanted to protect you. I mean, it's just so many different things that we go back in history that our mothers have done and sacrificed. And oh, God knows when I've sat back and gone back and interviewed sisters, I mean, as old as 90 years old, and talked about there was a time in life when a black woman couldn't be raped, when you could be abused and would have to come home and all you could do was physically wash yourself. I mean, I just can't imagine some of the things that our sisters had to go through, you know, women in general, but particular sisters in the racist environment of the South and other areas. So to all those who went through it and had to endure it, we hadn't forgotten, and we want to say we appreciate that, and we remember that in love as well. So, you know, with that
Yes.
being said, so I thank you for your poem. I want to find out where I can where you can get that back to me.
You want that?
Yes, ma'am. I would love for you to recite it and let me put some music to it for you. I love your delivery and your passion with it.
Wow. Set that up and it's done. You can have it. Anything y'all need, I'm there.
Well,
I appreciate you all. Really do.
oh, well, thank you, sister. You're a mother, so you know what? We're honored to have you on the platform. You are our honored guest because, you know, as we talk about Mother's Day, you are a reflection of what we're discussing. And then you went on to even to take it deeper to discuss your mother, and we appreciate you sharing that experience as a mother with us.
Thank you. And then also I would like to say, you know, you do have mothers out here that talk till they blue in the face
Yeah,
to their children about the dangers of the streets,
that's
about
right.
the dangers of gangs and things like that. And you know, and it still fall on deaf ears.
Right.
You know, no matter how much you try.
Right.
You know, and so you really can't blame the mother, you know, so to speak, because
Right.
it's just, you know, like I said, you could talk till you're blue in the face. And I have 2 children. I have a son and a daughter. And my son is the oldest. And, you know, it's like I lost him to the street. You know, it's like I lost him. But, you know, where he is now, which is incarcerated.
Okay.
You know, and that goes back to when you were saying, you know, when your mother takes you to church, or your grandma, your mama, your big mama, when they take you to church,
Right.
you know, that's the best place for you. Sometimes, as a mother, you can talk to your blue in the face until you're out of breath, until you have no more words left. But if you can't yourself handle your child, we are all children of God, you know, is what
Right.
we believe, is what we brought us to believe. So, you know, God can only do what you can't do. So therefore, you know, I take that as a life lesson and a blessing, because it's really it's really making me go even harder for somebody else too, because they are our kids.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They're all our children. They're all our problem, as you say. You know, if they want to label them as a problem,
Right.
then we are their mothers, we are their fathers, we are their solution. So therefore, you know, I just want to leave that with y'all as well, because it's not only, you know, the mother, and like you say, you know, the fruit don't fall far from the tree, but
Right.
it's still your fruit.
Yes.
It's still your fruit. And you take the bitter with the sweet and you love it.
You know what, sister?
Ashe. Yeah.
Ashe, I felt that. I really felt that. I felt your love, not only for your child, but I felt your love for all the other children. I felt a sense of regret in your voice, and I want you not to have any, because it takes a village to raise a child, and many times, even when the village makes the attempt, it's difficult, because sometimes you got to check the village, and our village is not really complete anymore. We're not sure where the village is, so we got to create our own accountability partners. We got to create our own little world, if you would, and that's what we call Griot Nation, a family of forward-thinking people, a community of listeners who want to share and educate and support each other as we go forward in a world that we know is chaotic at this point in time. It operates primarily off capitalism, which operates off fear, ignorance, and opportunity. And though it may be the system that we're using, it has proven itself not to be effective for 98% of the people. Let me say y'all something. When 20% of the people can control 86% of the wealth, something is wrong. Something is very wrong. So mothers, you have to protect your sons, and one of the reasons why you got to protect your sons is because he's still considered a commodity, whether he's being drafted by the NFL or the NBA, whether he's being drafted more by the prison industrial complex than he is through sports entertainment anymore. The state will pay $55,000 to keep your son in a box before they'll pay for him to be educated. So we got to be aware of where we are. And sisters, let me say this to you as well. I've been working prison systems now for over 30 years. I'm a subject matter expert in the field. So I talk to mothers all the time. And when they come in that day room, or when it's over and when they have a meeting, the first thing I let the mothers know that I know have worked hard, you didn't fail him. He's just failed himself so far. And the other thing you got to realize is he's already living in a failed system. And if every 28 hours an unarmed African-American male is shot by a white police officer and nothing is done by it, it suggests that the system is not in a position to even judge us. And, and I can't help but to go there because it's real. Because all these things that I'm talking about are stresses on mothers. That's why you worry. Because you know where he's living. And then if you think of it that way, you got to take under consideration the selection pool for the other young mothers. So we got work to do. If we want to love ourselves and we want to really respect motherhood, we got to do a very good job of collectively helping with developing the seed. That means if the father's not there, that means it's got to be somebody else there. To father means to take father. So that means it don't have to be his dad. And every time you come to help a boy, you don't have to come in and try to get in a woman's drawers. And we got to be in and put that in perspective. And mother, understand, just because he's good for you with your son don't mean he's good for you. That's just the truth. And I know sometimes it seems unbalanced. And don't you take any piece of a man just so you can be taken care of in spite of your son being there. So there's a lot of things that happen that I see in homes. And a lot of times that, we set what we think is the best examples. But we got to remember this too, mother. For those mothers that are out there now is, if you're somewhere and you're being abused, you're no longer in a relationship, you're in crisis. If you're somewhere where someone is verbally speaking, calling you out of your name, grabbing you, putting that finger in your face, which we call intimidation, pulling you, not allowing you to go somewhere, you are not in a relationship, you're in crisis. And if you are in crisis and you're allowing your child to sit there in crisis, you're creating a new monster. You look at who he is, and 85% of the time, he's going to imitate that. So mothers, many times, if you don't leave for you got to be willing to leave for your child. So, I always say black and blue, could it be you? We don't want that to be that case. And that's one of the things I just wanted to end this show on. If there's one thing that we can work on, that we can try to control, I don't even want to use the word try, that we have to learn to control, is when you're in a relationship with a woman, that's not your child. You don't allow her to do anything. She don't have to ask, can I go anywhere? That is not your child. And if you wouldn't have done that to your mother, remember that she's a mother too. So, we can start taking personal responsibility. I'm saying more than a call to your mother. I think young brothers need to start taking a little bit of consideration of what you're doing to the future young mothers. Many of you respect your mama, but you're very disrespectful to other little young mothers. And for some of you young mothers, you got to change your attitude. When I say attitude, that means you've had a bad memory of experiences, so that means you got to create new memories. And in doing so, we need pearls of wisdom. Young sisters need older sisters who can show you the map. Don't fall in a hole, baby girl. Y'all not in competition with each other. Look, y'all, we're in concert. And the only way our community is going to be a complete community is that we learn how to love and learn how to function collectively together. And with that being the case, I'm going to close with this. It must be born in the mind that the tragedy in life doesn't lie in reaching your goal. The tragedy lies in having no goal to reach. It isn't calamity to die with dreams unfulfilled, but it is a calamity not to dream. It isn't a disaster to be unable to capture your ideal, but it is a disaster to have no ideal to capture. It isn't a disgrace not to reach the stars, but it is a disgrace to have no stars to reach for. Not failure, but low aim is a sin. Hotep Griot Nation, happy Mother's Day to all you mothers. We love you. Peace out.